We didn't even get to use our killing gloves.
Yeah, I know.
Not yet.
I didn't get to kill nobody.
Yeah, Julian's the only one who's gotten to kill anyone so far. Rest of
And he
you
was
gotta
innocent.
catch up.
And he was innocent.
I mean, doesn't that make it way better, though?
Yes, it does.
The Terrible Warriors receives funding by supporters from Patreon, listeners just like you who want to be involved in the creation of this show. To learn more, visit terriblewarriors.com/Patreon. And today, on The Terrible Warriors, return one last time to that galaxy far, far away. A long time ago, on a forgotten world. For 3 hours, you've listened to our Imperial officers forced to make terrible decisions in the name of the Empire. But now they have learned the truth. The Empire has fallen. The Emperor is dead. And even though they tried to take out the Governor, someone else got to him first. The oppressive regime of the Iron Blockade may be lifting. But what it will replace, that may be worse. This is our grand finale, and all that remains are ashes of the Empire. Oh, and also those guys. Yeah, the Terrible Warriors.
Hello, terrible listeners. We're back with Star Wars again, and shit has gone down in the last episode. So yeah, I'm Bree Poison. I am still your GM. We're still doing this thing, and my players are, which, he just took a drink of water, so I was like, and the players are, look, he's drinking, let's do it right now.
Thirsty Spillane over here. Yeah, Julian Spillane.
AJ Fry also.
Colin Macbeth, a.k.a. Dr. Tara Watt.
Amazing. So, at the end of the last episode, motherfucking Grand Admiral Thrawn.
And lizard people stab a man.
He throned all over that banquet. It was just
Yeah, that is
brutal.
That is what the Thrawn do.
Lizard people?
Yeah, no, in the original canon, it's not canon any longer if you've read the new Thrawn book, but originally he had this alien species called the Nogri, which after Vader and the Emperor are dead, he basically goes and gets their allegiance. They used to be allied to the Emperor and Vader, because the Emperor and Vader basically, destroyed their planet. And we're, helping them rebuild it, with air quotes, in return for basically their entire military population to come fight for the Empire. So yeah, they're very good bodyguards. They're born killers.
Oh, wow.
Nogri are rolled.
It's really good thing we didn't shoot at them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's why I just kept talking over you. That would have been very bad. Nogri are, I will tell you now, Nogri are likely total party wipe material. They are terrifying.
It's really good we didn't shoot at them.
And there were 5 of them. They're scary.
No offense, I was fully ready to use that explosive that was on Officer Hughes's chest as a distraction to cheese it.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can pick up immediately after Thrawn's talking if you want, or I can pick up once the dust has settled a little bit.
It's up to you. We are but pawns in this great game of chess.
You've all been arrested.
What I would like is for Thrawn's people. He has he has stormtroopers. He has his own people that are coming out of his fleet. His fleet is now in the Anoat Sector, and specifically the Chimera, his Imperial Star Destroyer, is orbiting Nethoin.
Oh, no.
Because this is where Adelhard was. This is where he needed to dispatch his troops. So when he sent in the Nogri, there were a whole bunch of stormtroopers and everything behind it. They basically have this place on lockdown until they figure out what's going on.
Well, I think this is great. I mean, this is going to be good for everyone. We've got a new leader. He seems to know what he's doing.
You enjoy your employee interviews for excellence.
Yeah.
So Thrawn comes in and he's kind of got everything on lockdown for a couple of hours while he figures out what's going on.
Yep.
After a couple of hours, you guys have been basically confined to your quarters. Nobody really knows what's happening. You do ask around Julian and your method because you have kind of little birds out everywhere. You are Varys. Nobody knows what's up. They know that Thrawn is an Imperial Grand Admiral. There are rumors that he's been out in wild space until recently. But nobody really knows anything other than, he was the wild card Grand Admiral. They sent him and all of his troops out, and he's just been gone. And now he's back, and nobody's seen him for years.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So he's the wild card Grand Admiral. You don't know what up with him. From his speech, he seems to have, he seems to be wanting to bring everyone back together, but also everyone is freaking out about the fact that he just told you that all of your heroes are dead.
And assassinated the
current governor in front of you. You learn from people that his speech that he was beginning to give was being broadcast. Mm-hmm. Everyone saw Adelhard die.
Well, not just his speech, but also the assassination was broadcast.
Yes, so his speech was being broadcast, right, when he began Citizens of Anoat. That's why he started that way. It was being broadcast, and it had taken over all of the news, right, like an Amber Alert.
Oh,
right, as he do.
Governor
and
Adelhard.
So everyone saw him stabbed, and then it cut out, and Thrawn took over, and you saw what he broadcast to everyone.
Oh.
So everyone has seen that.
He
Everyone
died on
knows.
the air.
He died live on air.
Fuck.
Everyone knows that Thrawn is here now. So after a couple of hours, you all are... a bunch of stormtroopers come in and they request you all by name.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is fun.
Yep. No, this is so great.
And you're taken to Baumgartner's office.
So great.
And
He's probably going to give us all badges.
It is Baumgartner in his office.
Medals.
Hopefully not explosive
It's
badges.
going to be a medal ceremony.
Yeah, Thrawn is not there. It is Baumgartner in his office.
Okay,
right?
good. This
Cool.
is good.
But the office doors are being flanked by Nogri now.
Yeah.
So you walk in on the outside. They're not on the inside. You walk in, and Baumgartner is very happy to see you. And he says, I understand that didn't go quite the way that we had anticipated.
But it worked out for everyone, right?
But I understand that you were ready to act, and when they patted them down, he lets you know that they did find the explosives on Hughes. Hughes has been detained. He's given to Thrawn all of the records that you guys found. Hughes has been detained. Adelhard is dead.
Mm-hmm. They found the exploses on Hughes. Did they find the remote on me?
No, nobody patted you down. You were just left. But you have all been commended.
I just want to stand there.
We are getting medals.
You were completely ignorable in this whole
No, Baumgartner did not throw you under the bus. Basically, you are told the story of how, he was in control of Nethoin, right? So he has had a meeting with Thrawn. Which is terrifying. Mm-hmm. But he has had a meeting with Thrawn, and Thrawn has said to him, how did this happen? And he totally said to Thrawn, I was going to kill him too, right? Like, I saw that he was bad, and we were going to take him out, and I'm so happy you did it first. Yeah. Like, that was great, thank you. And Thrawn is quite pleased with Baumgartner.
Oh, okay, good.
And you have all been commended by Baumgartner.
Okay, good.
Hooray!
So... in that sense, you are now basically being commended by Thrawn.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So...
great news.
Magus takes out, the remote trigger from his coat and is just like, so do I just put this on your desk?
I will take that.
It's just puts it shyly on his desk, slides it over.
Baumgartner will take that from you, thank you. We'll just...
be gentle with that.
We'll just pretend this doesn't exist. Could you maybe...
don't pull the trigger on that.
Could you maybe disable it first? Do you want to just...
turns it off.
Not
Some evidence
give him
locker
a
explodes
loaded
somewhere.
gun. So, you're in a very good place.
That's great.
Is
this
what
is
I'm telling you
fantastic
right
news.
now. If you play your cards right, you will be getting a promotion.
Ooh.
All of you.
That's exciting.
I like this.
There's only one problem.
Oh, no.
Anoat has been mismanaged, obviously, by our dear departed governor. Mm-hmm. He has mismanaged everything terribly. The situation is roughly the same as it is in the capital, everywhere in the system, right? So around Anka base, what you have been hearing about, it's everywhere. right?
Yeah.
We're in a full-on, like, winter in Russia, World War II situation. Fuck. People are starving all over the place. In the Imperial Star Destroyer Chimera and in, the rest of Thrawn's fleet, they do have extra food, extra medicine. They are giving what they can to the people. But a lot of people are past help at this point.
Fuck.
We cannot possibly help everyone anymore, right? A lot of people are starving and they are just they're not going to be productive citizens, essentially, even if we can pull them through this. So what Thrawn has decided to do is we're going to systemically help some of the people along who are no longer going to be productive. And since you guys have been commended so highly, you are going to be kind of at the spearhead of that. Here are some documents, and he passes you a new data pad, right? This is a secure data pad. No one else has any access to it. It's just yours. And it opens with fingerprints, right? So, like, if anyone else tries to open this thing, it will wipe. Right? That is how intense the security on this is. What you need to do here are basically the settlements that have been hit worst. We're going to send in stormtroopers to basically clear out all of the people of army age or useful age.
And just clean out everyone else.
And your job is to decide how we are going to clear everything else.
I've got like 7 different uses for a corpse like today.
We'll have many of them if we...
Yeah.
Well, we are a death squad now.
Interesting. I can understand, obviously, why Grand Admiral Thrawn is doing this, because, like he said, a lot of the people that are on these planets are beyond assistance at this point. They're no longer a benefit to the system. And due to the actions of Governor Adelhard, they have gone beyond the ability to be repaired. And what do you do with dysfunctional machinery? You recycle it. So that's where we're at right now. Do we want to do like a Soylent Green thing, or do we want to...
I don't know. What do you want to do?
In the name of efficiency, and I'm kind of sad I've made this my character's central concept, we could go through basically and like quietly, calmly, peacefully euthanize a bunch of these people and then repurpose their base components.
Whatever you need that is within their power to give, the Empire will give you for this. You guys are basically going to put this plan in motion, and depending on how well you do here, you will be being promoted.
Whatever we do, if this is system-wide, it needs to be done as simultaneously as possible to avoid mass panic.
Yep.
Because word spreads, even in a tightly controlled system, word spreads.
Yes.
So we need to mass euthanize, or mass cleanse, as rather, this cast.
No, euthanize is a better word. Cleanse in
Yeah, no, let's
different,
let's not do that.
It's different. It's just not a cleansing.
No.
This is a mass euthanization.
It's a culling.
It's a culling. It is.
We just considered using our bomb against this new guy instead.
Against Thrawn?
Yeah. I mean, why do we have to follow these orders?
You have 3 destiny points, and I used all of my destiny points to basically be like, lols, here's a Grand Admiral, so like, why don't you are more than welcome to use your destiny points if you don't want to go along with this.
I just think even with 3 destiny points, we don't stand a single chance against the greatest tactician in the history of Star Wars.
This is also true.
Justin here stepping in. Just because the GM has told you to be a death squad because of your quest doesn't mean you are being compelled to be a death squad as part of your quest.
Look, Thrawn is telling you to
But
go
also,
be a death squad. You
I'm
do
saying-
not have to be a death squad.
But my character, his whole point is he wants to climb and rise the ranks
You
of the Empire.
don't even have to all go do the same thing.
Exactly.
I will 100%. Like, you can party split. You could go 3 different
Julian.
ways.
What's that?
Is there an empire left to climb ladders with after what you've learned from Thrawn?
Well, if Thrawn is the new leader.
Thrawn is going to attempt to put everything back together again, is what he's saying.
Yeah, if you overthrow Thrawn, then you
But
immediately...
but from his speech, you know that currently there is no infrastructure outside of Anoat.
All the king's
There
horses
is
and all the
infighting.
king's men.
Yeah, there is nothing but infighting happening inside and outside of Anoat, except for Thrawn. He is about to go up against all of this. And Anoat is basically, he came from wild space, he stopped at Endor, and Anoat was literally just the first stop.
Yeah.
Okay. There is one chief flaw in... No offense to Thrawn. There is one chief flaw in this design.
I mean, he's not here, so it's fine.
Yeah, like... As I have continuously said, living organisms are commonly the worst part of any system. By getting everybody who is of military age, who is still of working age, and can be of benefit to any system, removing them from their homes and then killing everyone who's left over, there's no way that even how simultaneously we can manage this, there is no way that those people will not learn of the fate of their homes and their loved ones and their families. Which means that you have now just planted several thousand, if judging by the planetary scale in this system, several billion people into the Empire who are going to turn against us. I am confident I can design a better solution.
Okay.
We could, because all of the families and people that are still here, these planets are still growable, they're still usable. With the supplies that they're divvying out, how much time do they have before the supplies finish?
Before we're back in kind of the same situation as is. With careful rationing, you have perhaps a week.
Damn. I'd have to work really fast.
You do have destiny points with which to work very fast.
We do. I'm just thinking that if there were some series of irrigation droids that I could design that would not only keep these people safe from wildlife, but also do things like till land, grow food, gather water, things like that.
So like a whole agricultural revolution?
Effectively, like how were these people living before this happened?
Moisture farming, I'm guessing.
No, it is an Earth-like planet. The problem is that most of the people who were farming were taken off of their farms and moved into city centers to be easier to feed. They were coerced out of their farms. The farms are all still there. They just haven't been tended to in a few months.
So I'm thinking if
Some people are still out there on their farms, like living completely self-sustaining off-the-grid lives.
Yep.
So...
Is it feasible to move these people back there?
Oh, absolutely. You can do, like, if you were to take all of the, like, troopers and everything and all of the speeders and all that, you can totally repopulate these areas. There are maps.
And if we take all of the workable force, quote unquote, like, so all the people that would be good as soldiers and workers and stuff like that off planet, then all we would have to do is replace their labor with machinery. Then we have populated the Empire with billions of loyal people. Billions of people that are happy to be working for us because we are supporting their families.
AJ, can you give me a lore check? So that's knowledge lore. You have 1 point in that, correct?
Yes.
And then 1 point in intellect?
Yes.
So I'm going to give you... these dice. And can you give me a lore check on that?
2 success, 1 fail, but 1...
And 1 threat, yeah. And then 1...
Those cancel each other
1
out.
advantage. Okay, so the threat and the advantage cancel each other out, and you...
Net 1 success.
Net 1 success. Okay. You know, given your lore check here, that the Nogri homeworld was actually almost completely destroyed by a fight happening in its stratosphere. And the Empire has been reseeding the world with droids already. This kind of infrastructure already exists.
Oh, that is so great.
Yeah. I was giggling behind my hand. I'm glad you weren't looking at me because I was giggling behind my hand the entire time you were talking about that.
It's basically Food Inc.
Yeah.
On the Nogri homeworld.
Yeah, in exchange for having their planet reseeded by these droids, they give basically an army to originally the Emperor and Vader, but now Thrawn.
So now the real question is, how do we communicate this plan to Thrawn in a way that doesn't sound like we are questioning his authority or insulting his technical genius?
I can do it.
Oh. Oh, no. That doesn't sound like...
I can do it.
You could.
Come on, remember when I told all those people that they weren't getting their food and it went over great?
I want AJ to
I
do
got a
this
free
so
shoe out of it.
We have Destiny tokens. You know what?
You got a
We can
free
save
shoe. Fuck.
All
right.
Baumgartner likes your plan.
Yeah.
And when he met with Thrawn earlier, he says to you that he seems very level-headed and very mild, regardless of the fact that you did just basically watch his soldiers assassinate a dude by stabbing him in the face the day before. Like, he seems like a very reasonable man.
I think that, and no offense, I think that I would get along with Thrawn famously, because I feel that he and I share a lot of qualities with regards to efficiency.
True.
So
Baumgartner is willing to make an appointment with Thrawn to be like, we have a plan, and bring the lot of you.
I was going to say, should we invite him over for dinner?
Yeah.
No.
We'll invite him over. We'll just put a different tablecloth down. Like, everything will be great. Don't worry
have
about
food
it.
prepared.
You saw this place yesterday on the Hollow.
with all honesty, he's probably never going to leave that Star Destroyer.
Oh, no.
So if we meet with him, we're going up there.
You are going to the Star Destroyer.
Okay.
Which I am so excited about.
Let's go.
All right, so we'll take you to the Chimera, which is an Imperial-class Star Destroyer. It's a very big Imperial Star Destroyer. It's the biggest one.
Is it bigger than Vader's Super Star Destroyer?
I don't believe it is the largest one without being a Super Star Destroyer.
Okay,
off the top
like
of
the
my head,
huge
I don't
black
remember.
one that
Vader... I can hear through the void people screaming at me about what this is actually called. And so you arrive. You are brought through to Thrawn's ready room. He meets pretty much everyone in his ready room. This isn't abnormal. Outside the door are 2 Nogri guards. They pat you down. They take all of your weapons.
Okay.
Right? You're not allowed to bring any inside. This is because there are no Nogri guards inside the room. It is just Thrawn. Thrawn is seated on a chair in the middle of his darkened ready room, and around him are hollows of what you may recognize, just from being on the planet for a while, as art from Nethoin.
Oh, that's right, because he's a rare art collector.
He is a rare art collector, but for more than that, his tactical skills are always based on what he can learn from the planet from art.
From their culture.
From their culture.
Because art reflects the culture in which it was made.
That's why he collects rare art.
He has been studying.
Shit.
You're having D20 Live flashbacks, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh god, that's why he collects the rare art. He's not just like a pompous douchebag.
No, he is
it's
a tactician.
It's all strategic. Fuck.
He studies war.
Yeah.
Thrawn is the reason he is an Imperial Grand Admiral but not human is that he is the greatest tactician that the Empire has ever known.
Yep.
That's how he got there. Even though everyone is super racist, he literally just clawed his way to the top. So he's sitting there with all of this art. The room is darkened so that you can see the hollows of the art very well. And he is seated, fingers stapled together in front of his face. Stapled. Oh dear.
I was gonna be like,
that is a different game. Stapled together in front of his face, watching you enter. And he says, General Baumgartner, it is excellent to see you again.
Doesn't he have red glowing eyes?
He does.
Yeah.
Blue skin, black hair, red glowing eyes. This is another one of the reasons why he meets everyone with the lights turned low. He's real good at ambiance.
The intimidation factor is high.
Yeah. Any coercion checks you will have to roll against him are not going. They're going to be very difficult.
Super negative.
Yeah, everything is going to be very difficult. You are intimidated as fuck. In fact, you are so intimidated, please take 1 point of mental strain.
Did we heal back the other 2 points?
Even the droid who's always optimistic because of his programming?
Yep. I mean, he's still optimistic, but also this is a daily.
He's been programmed for self-preservation.
This is a Grand Admiral. Yeah, this is a Grand Admiral A, right? Which is way further above the food chain than you have ever even been allowed to be in the presence of. Right? And also, it is the Grand Admiral that everyone knows is terrifying.
Yeah, but everything's always gone really well for me, so it's really no big deal, ultimately.
I understand that you have an alternative to my plan.
We do.
Yeah, do you
Baumgartner basically is just like, well, it's your go,
Grand Admiral
guys.
Thrawn,
Like,
it is an
this.
honor to meet you. We have devised a strategy that
doesn't kill anybody.
What the protocol droid said, that preserves the workforce in such a way that we can recruit for the military the able-bodied working people while also sustaining the populace through a system of droid seeding, basically. Agricultural revolution spearheaded by Arcturus over here.
With minimal resources, the designs that I've put up, and he opens up a small hollow if he's able to have one of those. It's just like I could retrofit a lot of the droids that you're already using on the planet to perform other jobs outside of just irrigation, as well as things like defense and general home maintenance. This would allow all of the working force that we're taking off the planet to hold a greater amount of respect and loyalty for the Empire. As one can imagine, with recent events, respect and loyalty are obviously going to be a big issue. If we take all these people off this planet and kill their families, no matter how clean and fast we do it, word will find them. And then we've just seeded the Empire with billions of people that have no interest in being a part of our machine.
And with due respect to your strategy, we cannot risk any schisms at right now where we are, given everything.
With the Empire supporting their families and helping give them a home to go back to should they return home, we will create a much larger working force. Like, the working force will be more efficient, they'll be more loyal, there'll be less schisms, less problems you'll have to clean up. You have to spend less resources picking off traitors and dealing with that kind of ribble-rabble. And it severely discredits the rebellion with how much we care about and take care of the people on the planets with which are in our domain.
And ultimately, for the plan to work, you really need a strong marketing and advertisement campaign helmed by a lovable mascot character, 000-3PO, who's there to encourage everyone to be a part of the Empire forever. Hooray!
Through all of this, Thrawn is unreadable. Just completely blank face, just watching you all. And then when he does speak up, he's been mulling it over for a few moments. And when he does speak up, he says, "Are you familiar with the current stores of food and medicine in the Anoat Sector?"
I'm told that given what we've got, at present we can only sustain our support of these planets for about a week.
This is true. And as it stands, none of the Moffs or other admirals whom I have been able to contact have any interest in Anoat as a system.
How many supplies would the Anoat system produce for the Empire if it were to be productive?
I am concerned about the turnaround of your plan. Are you familiar at all with the planet of Honogr?
Do I know? Does Arcturus know of this planet?
You might be.
I was going to say.
With your lore check.
Of course,
right?
I know about it. Yeah,
you are. This is the homeworld of the Nogri, where all of this seeding was done.
Yeah.
Right. And you were. Do you want to? You can spout that. Just be like, yeah, this is a thing, guys. And
everything's hunky dory over there. Everyone's loving it. The droids, my brethren, are taking care of everyone, and ultimately the local population is thriving.
And he says, this was done before his time as an Imperial Grand Admiral, but it did take several months for the planets to become self-sustaining. And this was the only system in which the Empire was giving that kind of aid at the time. Thrawn is very concerned that multiple systems are going to need this sort of aid given the intel that is coming into him. Infighting is rampant at the moment.
And we want to try to reduce that infighting, and I think that this is a system that, at least if we implement it here and it works, then we can try implementing it in other places. Like I said, the retrofits to these droids would cost little resources, and I think I could start making those retrofits now. And we could... Like, I'm smart. I don't know if I'm that smart. But I think I could get this place working on its own inside of the week.
Yeah. I believe in him.
I mean, GM table talk here. You could if you were willing to spend a couple of destiny points.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm looking at the 3 destiny points we have available on the table, and he's just like, I'm pretty smart. Like Magus knows he's a genius, but he's just like, even this is a stretch. Like, this is... Even with my genius, I think I can do this, but I'm going to need...
It's going to take, like, a lot of luck and a lot of resources.
It's going to take a lot of work to make this happen, but I'm confident that we could do this.
I'm going to use a destiny coin to attempt something. And I'm going to try to charm our...
our Grand Admiral?
Adversary here.
Oh, no.
By saying, sometimes all you need is a little hope and optimism to make the impossible happen. You shouldn't always be so blue about everything.
I swear I will shoot... Oh, I don't have my gun. Yeah.
No, they took all of your weapons. You will bludgeon him with your fists.
I was like, shut up.
Did it work? Did he crack a smile? Is he starting to come around?
There is no change in his face, but
what?
he does say, I am willing to give you this opportunity, with the understanding that if we are still in a dire situation, in 1 week's time, I will have more important things to worry about than your longevity.
Understood. As an added bonus, I could probably install a few subroutines so those robots could just kill everybody if we're out of resources by the end of the week.
That's true. True, yeah.
So then it doesn't matter what we do. We get what we want.
And then Thrawn looks at Baumgartner and he says, I expect that you will oversee these people, and I will expect a report by the end of the week. You are dismissed.
Time to get crafting.
Sweet, gotta go change my trousers and then get to work.
So, what... I know you just sold it to Thrawn, but like step by step, what are we doing here?
Going to take the infrastructure that they're already using to seed the planet with droids. Because I imagine that's what the droids are already being used for, almost to a point.
You have a lot of droids. Most of the food was being shipped in from hydroponics labs on Bespin. Mm-hmm. As you're being given all the documents, right? Because you and Baumgartner are running this, so he's giving you all the documents.
Okay.
Most of the food that the Anoat system has currently was being made in very controlled Empire conditions on Bespin or Burn and Con, mostly Bespin.
Okay.
Because you can't fucking grow anything on Hoth. And Nethoin being kind of this have-not planet has mostly just been ignored, right? Like, no one was terribly interested in Nethoin.
All right, so if a lot of those plants are already being developed in hydroponics labs, which means that they're already developed, they could be brought in and planted by these droids that I'm implementing, which are basically like at least what I'm envisioning off the top of my head, because I don't know a lot of the droid systems that are available in the Star Wars universe, but like a large ball with many legs, almost like a huge mechanical spider, but a lot of the legs have things like, plows attached to them and can do things like plant things and a whole bunch of other stuff, and they walk around on 4 legs, but have like a bunch of arms on them that can do stuff.
Congratulations, Nethoin. Your savior is this giant, horrifying robot spider creature.
An army of robot spiders.
Now, would we build in like self-replicating subroutines here so we can build as many droids as needed?
Oh yeah, no, easily. A lot of these are going to be running on the basic like programming infrastructure to ensure that they can perform a lot of this work, because they'll have like the 4 walking legs, but then a bunch of other arms on the front, so that they can like till land and plant already developed plants. Gather water or like dig wells and things like that to ensure that a lot of the homes are sustainable. And one of these droids could easily run a small village by itself. So a lot of them, with their size and with the modifications that I'm making, could run large areas. Like, it would take a relatively small amount of these units in order to turn around everything.
How will we get around agricultural time problems?
We
don't control time.
No, of course. Bringing in the plants from the hydroponics facilities will ensure that the plants that we're planting are already grown. Mm-hmm. So we're basically transplanting already grown, food-producing things into the system. So we don't have to basically plant seeds and be like, well, good luck, and then leave. No, we can use the hydroponics facilities to bring those in. And then, what kind of livestock does this planet have?
It is an Earth-like planet, so
there's animals,
like space cows, basically. You know how they just have they're basically cows and they're basically like elephants and shit, but they're slightly different. Or we've got the regular assortment.
Then we would want to get the largest and slowest of them, get readings on them, and then program these large machines with the ability to catch, clean, and display these animals.
Also, ideally, we have the with Bacta, we have the technology for reparative tissue growth.
Yep.
What if we had productive tissue growth?
Also,
meat growth,
growing
labs.
Well,
the meat river. The meat river of replicated meat.
Old meat river. No, okay, so it would take a lot more resources, I think, for us to synthetically grow meat than it would be for us to use the local livestock that's on the planet for sort of an interim food source while they get themselves on board with domesticating and growing their own food.
So tell you what. Let's use a destiny point, and we'll say that you have using this because you basically we're going to operate on almost the Star Trek principle here of you have spouted enough science jargon for people to basically be like, yes, this is fine. And your plan is beginning to come across, and
giant robot spiders. Go on.
Hear me out. I flipped it already for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Hear me out.
But here's the thing.
I'm going to fix this planet with, and follow me on this one, giant robot spiders. Oh, you flipped two.
So I have flipped the 2 tokens that were mine. Here's the thing. You do still work for the Empire, and there are still rebel forces.
Oh, for real. There's still rebel forces I have to deal with.
You're still the Empire, and they just watched their governor, who was at least the evil they knew, be assassinated by an alien who just showed up from wild space.
And also...
That's terrifying.
And also, hashtag giant robot spiders.
Yeah, and also robot spiders. No.
People aren't on board.
We will free the people from the robot spiders!
The tyranny of the robot spiders and also the meat lake.
Oh my god.
You are free! You are free of the Empire!
I'll give the robot spiders happy voices.
They're all modeled on Trip.
On Trip.
That's right. Hi there, I'm
Very
here.
soothing voices.
Your terrifying robot spider, here to take great care of you.
Agrobot.
So on
Trip's gone to the cloud.
On the night before, you are going to have to answer to Thrawn. There is essentially a terrorist attack on not only the main base, and I mean it doesn't. The walls are very thick on the main base, so they attempt bombing, but a lot of the spiders you have working around Anka are destroyed.
Goddamn. Durasteel motherfuckers, but goddamn spiders. We're just trying to feed people!
They're terrifying food spiders.
What you know of the people, they're scared, right? They're still being very severely rationed. This is still the Empire talking to them. Right? This is a new governor who says he's looking out for them, but, besides the fact that there's no more Big Brother screaming at them, every hour.
The Empire is dead! The Emperor is dead! We're all free! We get to vote now!
And the Emperor is dead. They know all of this is true, right? They wonder if the grass is always greener on the other side, and there are no rebels here, and, but what if they're willing to help more? Right? So they're basically just terrified, and they're still fighting back because they don't know what else to do.
Well, let's round them up. Execute them.
I've got a fucking... like I said, there's an Order 66 in these giant robot spiders that are left that can euthanize the people we don't need and start picking up everyone that we do.
You can...
Turn this into Nightmare Town. I don't care.
You can also ask for help.
Can I try to fix these things?
Yeah, they are totally fixable.
Ask for help how?
I mean, Thrawn is still orbiting the planet.
I could also get help from Stephen Prince. No.
Stephen Prince has gone back to his home on Burning Con.
He's fucked right off.
He fucked right off. Like, someone was murdered in front of him, and he is not about that life, and he is gone.
Sweet, I'm gonna...
Oh, dear.
Adelhard gets stabbed in the middle of the night. Goodness!
All you hear is goodness from across the room.
He gets up and fucks right out. All right. We could ask Thrawn for... I mean, I hate to do this because he's the person I'm trying to impress, and I want to try to do this without going to him for help, but the rebels literally just fucked my plan in the ass.
We need to find out who these rebels are. All we know is that there's been an attack.
Your machines are fixable.
Yeah.
You can absolutely set people about fixing them. This is not a like plan-ending thing.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's just this is a complication of there are still rebels. You forgot about them.
All right. What do you guys think?
I think we need to do something about these rebels in concurrent with the plan. I think it's probably best just to round up what we can information-wise and try to interrogate and get some answers.
Yeah. I think we can maybe do a soft interrogation because what we're doing here is trying to save their lives. Like, even if the Empire didn't take all their able-bodied workers and buggered off, we still left this planet crippled. Mm-hmm. We're trying to fix this. If they just hands off, let us fix this, that would be ideal. And the rebels, in their interest in making everybody free, woohoo, decided to basically get in the way.
Yep.
So... I think that we can do that as like we can basically put that on the table as like we're just trying to help you. Can you help us help you and figure out who these, don't want to use this word, but terrorists are?
We could make a propaganda video, basically.
We both point at the droid.
Yeah, a propaganda video. We could broadcast it to the people.
Yeah.
Be honest about our intentions, and just anyone who's information to turn them over would be very useful because we just want to focus on feeding the planet.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a dice pool.
Sweet.
Here.
Oh, boy.
Who has the best charm rolls? I think it's probably Julian.
I got 2.
I got 2, and I've got 2 in my presence.
Yeah.
And you go for it.
Plus, I've got special abilities. Let's see.
Can you hand me back those dice that are living over there? Good.
Actually, I have also... Just I want to put this on the table just so that we know that this is happening roughly. Like, while you guys are doing the propaganda to try and find these rebels and figure out what's going on, I am going to see what forces with regards to like mechanics and repair people I can scrounge up to
a mechanic army
to basically get basically a huge force and then myself spearhead a huge group of repair people to run out and undo the damage that was done and basically see if we can make all of these bombings disappear overnight. Yeah, just to be like, you had absolutely no effect on us whatsoever.
It'd be a good show of force.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is...
Then find these rebels and turn them into man soup. Throw them in the meat river.
The meat river will run red with more blood.
Will run red like it always does.
Look, these people you've thrown in are not regulation-sized chunks. Like, this is not...
We can't just sweetie
toss
this.
The machines are very angry with you right now. These are chunks above regulation size. So here is your dice pool.
Okay.
So you've got the 2 big yellow dice because you are very proficient in this. It's going to be an average check, right? So there are your 2 little purple dice, and here is 1 black die because you are making a propaganda video in the aftermath of Adelhard, who used to do a propaganda video every hour on the hour.
True. True. All right. Well, here goes. But we have a much friendlier propaganda video.
Yeah. I'm sure our good motivations will give us some good luck with this roll.
Okay. It's a bad roll. Not gonna lie. But there are no failures.
There are no failures.
There's
just a lot of threats.
1 success and net 1 threat.
Okay.
Now, you could re-roll if it's a social because you can do that once per session.
I can re-roll, but let's think. So we already have a success here and only 1 threat added onto it. If we fail...
And the threat is not something huge. Like, as you are, you have a net 1 success. So the video is going to work. It's just something perhaps slightly unrelated bad is also going to happen.
So I only get 1 chance to reroll, and if I reroll and it's a failure...
Then your video doesn't work at all.
I think I'm comfortable with this.
You good?
Yeah.
You gonna go with it?
Take the threat.
Okay,
All right.
so as your video does work, some of the rebels are actually given up, right? The people who orchestrated the attack are given up,
Sweet.
right? People are held to account. Your video works.
Dude, nice.
The pen is mightier than the sword. Now let's use the sword. We round it up.
People are afraid of you. That is why it worked, right? This is the Imperial government. They've watched you guys assassinate your own. At this point, they know they are not safe. None of what Thrawn has said to them has, sold them.
Wait, did you intimidate them?
Charmed.
It was a charm.
Okay.
It was charm.
I was like, dude.
No, it was charm. So, they
we are in your
trust...
best interests.
They trust that, you are not going to murder them right now. But they do not, as a whole, trust the Imperials because you guys kind of have a shit track record at this point.
Yep.
Just overall, right?
Not us. Our track record's amazing.
There should
We've
be a
climbed the
by-election
ranks.
after the governor was assassinated so we can choose our new governor.
But, yes,
Shut that talk right down very fast.
the threat is that several ships were stolen and people left the system.
Let him go.
You're not...
Okay, so some people bailed out.
Some people bailed. They're gone.
What's percentage-wise?
No, it was a few, semi-large ships. You think that this was probably the people who were actually in charge of the rebel smugglers.
Right.
They've bailed.
Okay, well,
Fewer
fuck 'em.
mouths to feed.
Yep, they're afraid of Thrawn, probably.
As they should
for
be.
whatever reason they bailed.
Afraid of my giant irrigation spiders.
Yes.
Fucking. All right, so I'm gonna fucking use as many of my talents and special abilities as I can to turn this around overnight.
Yep. Give me a destiny point, and you will rebuild all of your stuff.
Boom.
And I will say that this was pretty much a success. We are not going to round people up and exterminate them.
Okay, good.
Darkest year of our adventures.
It's just getting darker.
And Thrawn is quite pleased with the lot of you. Baumgartner is quite pleased with the lot of you. You guys have done a very good job.
Do
Killing
we
a whole
get
planet
medals?
of
Do we have a sweet medal ceremony? Yeah.
We're not going to do a sweet medal ceremony because people are still real hungry. Things are starting to come up. Everything is slowly coming up Millhouse, but it is not right now.
But the perfect way to win the people's trust is a display of opulence. Translating ourselves.
Yeah, Thrawn is very not a display of opulence kind of dude. So, you are being commended. You have done an excellent job.
Awesome. Yay.
I'm super happy about that. No, because that was just Magus is no, killing an entire planet worth of people, that's easy. Now, getting a whole bunch of workers off the planet and saving all the people that can't work somehow and managing to turn their irrigational system around, that's a challenge.
I also like the image of people running and screaming from these giant irrigation spiders that are speaking in a friendly voice.
Hello, we are here to help! Right?
Hey guys, hungry for some corn?
So, this whole thing has gone pretty well. The Anoat Sector is on its way back to being prosperous, and you guys have done an excellent job. We're over the next few months, if you don't mind me kind of taking the reins, things are going to, the planet is coming back to life, especially on Nethoin. And, your plan is working. They're starting to make new schools. The Empire is beginning to lower its, stranglehold that Adelhard had on the people. But, the schools that are all popping up are all Imperial run.
Yeah.
We're trying to make new Imperials.
Yeah.
So it's not now we have democracy. No, there's a new governor. Governor Baumgartner is now in charge. Right, there's a new governor. Everyone is kind of coming back to normal, but Thrawn is content with how the system is beginning to self-govern. He doesn't need to micromanage it. Thrawn has put people in place that he is quite certain are going to uphold everything that has been done. And he's pleased with it. And that brings us to you guys who, defied an order to just murder everyone and came up with another plan. And Thrawn recognizes greatness when he sees it. And he appreciates that you didn't just blindly accept orders. That is what he looks for. Right? He appreciates your chutzpah in that sort of a situation, right?
You got moxie.
Yeah, your kids have got moxie, basically. And not only are you going to level up, which it doesn't really matter because we are at the end of our 4th hour, so...
That's okay, but still...
you are going to level up because you have done an excellent job. You've been an excellent politico, and you've been an excellent mad scientist, and you have just been the happiest robot.
The best mascot ever.
The best mascot ever. But you are all being offered positions on the Chimera.
Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Oh, I'm going to get transferred off of there so fast. He's going to realize why he found me in a hole.
Thrawn actually does have, canonically, he does tend to take people that are, kind of in a weird situation and just be like, you're doing a good job, whatever, why don't you come with me? He just, collects lost Imperial puppies.
So you get to be the first person to design a super-duper Star Destroyer.
And that's where the design for the stupid Star Eater planet
yeah,
comes
this is
from.
it. This is yours.
And then you built Star Killer Base.
Yep. Okay, I appreciate the idea of putting a Nazi fortress right here, but hear me out. What if we made an entire planet that eats a star, and then, now you had a design to blow up one planet. This one blows up whole solar systems at a time.
And he's just like, none of this is what I asked for, but I am intrigued.
Now, I was looking for a better spider.
Now, it eats a star, but it also destroys the rest of the solar system in the process. How are we feeling about that?
Does it have to...
Does it come in blue?
I am rather partial to the color blue.
Does it?
Who's being racist now, droid? I did warn all of my players when we made characters that if they were anything other than a droid or human, I would just be super racist to them for the entire campaign. So yeah, you're moving up on the political ladder, Julian. You're gonna become an officer.
I'm happy to serve.
Yeah, you are going to become an officer on the Chimera. You are going to become a scientist on the Chimera.
My eternally optimistic setting get switched off?
Would you like it to be switched off, or is this just your life now?
I don't know. I'll react in kind if it's...
Roll for it.
Yeah.
All right, here, let me see what kind of...
What's the kind of personality malfunction you end up with now?
Yeah.
Well, it was a critical runtime failure with the fact that he was given too many jobs that weren't under his design to manage. Yeah. And basically his programming just suffered a critical failure. And one of the things when I got him turned back on, one of the problems we had was his fucking positivity setting was set to max and I couldn't shut it off.
Yeah.
Connell, why don't we give you this role? I don't want to take your agency away, AJ.
No,
let me know if you're on board with this. But he would probably be the one fixing you.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
you are going to be...
I just want to know whether my story how my story ends and how I can react to it. So feel free, please, do the role, whether you can save me from this.
Thrawn
I mean, I believe
would like him to be a little less.
Well, I'll tell you.
He just makes a hand gesture, and it's just everything. The everything hand gesture. I would like him to be a little less everything.
You know what? Then,
a little less extra.
I'm going to see if I can restore the functionality, but leave it all the way up.
Okay,
so that if he needs to turn it down, he can, but... I'll leave it in the full-on position.
Okay, so mechanics
You're
check.
installing a dimmer switch.
Yeah.
Mechanics check here.
Well, it's supposed to be. Yeah. Mechanics, I got 2 ranks in, and it's intelligence, which I have 2 ranks in.
So here's your dice pool. The 2 yellow dice are because you're very proficient. This light blue dice is because you have ample time. And basically facilities to work on it, because Thrawn's basically just being just fix it. But these 3 purple dice are because this is a difficult roll.
Oh shit, Gearhead as a talent only removes black dice from the pool.
Yeah, that's if like you had to do this in a hurry
Yeah.
or like you didn't have enough anything. Yeah.
Oh, we got a triumph!
Oh,
Nice.
We got a triumph.
You got a triumph and no despairs.
And no despairs. And 4 advantages, but then 4 failures?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Okay, so how that rolls out is so you have 4 failures and 4 advantages. Those all cancel each other out, but a triumph also counts as a success.
Okay, well, there you go.
Right? Like you have 4 successes, 4 failures.
And
A triumph.
And a triumph. The triumph also counts as a success, so you do it, but like
Technically,
just by the skin of your teeth.
yeah, I managed to reset the critical failure.
You are a functioning droid that is not necessarily always 100% happy about genocide anymore.
Wonderful. I've turned it down, and now I've got all these really messed up thoughts about what we just did.
But as a reward, Thrawn is going to set you to chronicling all of his art.
Great.
And making a database. You are a scholar droid.
Cool.
So, like, AJ might not be super thrilled about it, but your character, like, the scholar droid is like, this is what I've always wanted.
I think Triple O would be fucking stoked.
I'm sure it is what I've always wanted. It's just that I'm like taking a break from being ecstatic. Okay.
He's coming down from a just bad trip, from a long trip.
I do appreciate it. I just am enjoying being like this.
being like
Okay.
mid-level Marvin. Like, not
Yeah.
super depressed Marvin, just like, this is fine Marvin.
Yeah.
You're
Neutral Marvin.
The personification of the this is fine dog.
I'll send you a nice thank you gift basket eventually. But for now.
For now, just
Some
leave
soaps.
me with my art.
All this Nethoin art that reminds him of the near genocide.
Yeah, maybe we'll save the Nethoin art for later. Like, you could do it whenever order you want.
Hooray.
So there you go, guys. The Anoat system is no longer under completely tyrannical control.
May the glory of the Empire reign forever.
The glory of the Empire is still on. I didn't have to remind any of you that you are loyal to the Empire, so I cast this game really well.
Well, not only that, but it's just like on the back of the player sheet, it's just like this is a character thing that you have. Like one of your motivations is you are like you support the Empire. Like,
yeah,
it
and
is,
we'll talk a little more about
specific
how
cause.
all of those mechanics work in the debrief. If you are a Patreon supporter, you get an extra special debrief where we talk about what it was like to play the game.
Yeah.
But for everyone else, thanks for joining us. Thanks for all of my people who nearly committed genocide for not just being like, Bree, what's wrong with this game? I'm leaving. Like, thanks.
We knew what we were getting into.
Yeah, say you were running the game.
I warned you. People on our Discord channel have been talking about how this is now the darkest year of our adventures, and I basically looked at that and I went, "You wanna bet?" So that's where this game came from.
It goes to 11, the darkness.
Yeah, I bet I could turn the heat up on that.
I can make this way darker. You don't know what hit you yet. So thanks for joining us. I'm your game master, Bree Poison, making everything space Nazis all the time. And our players have been...
I'm Julian Spillane, and I didn't betray anyone.
Whoa!
Or my empire.
Look, did 2 terrible warriors Judases being in the same room cancel each other out?
We worked together. That's how it was.
How 2 negatives made a positive today on terrible warriors.
And I'm AJ Fry, and I'm just happy to be talking like this now.
Yep. Back to the sexy radio voice. That's it.
You could have been really like positive, but still using the sultry voice, and I think that might have done amazing things.
Hey everybody, I know you're all
the
really
next
hungry right
game.
now, but
Have you considered that maybe you're not looking for food?
thanks for the free shoe. I really appreciate that.
It's a nice shoe.
Oh, Jerry Brutus the robot. No, why are we doing this? Last.
And lastly, I am Connell Macbeth, better known in the nerd community as Toronto's greatest supervillain and evil genius, Dr. Tarawad, playing the ever-enigmatic Magus Arcturus.
And if you're a Patreon supporter, you can head on over for the debrief where we're probably going to talk in real sultry voices because we're all into that now for like 10 or 15 minutes in your ear. Everyone else, thanks for joining us. Take it away, Justin.
And that's it for Ashes of the Empire. Way to go, Bree. That was her first time ever running a game, don't you know? Patreon supporters can head right now over to patreon.com/terriblewarriors. They can listen to the debrief audio of this game. And, it was so good, and it's the spirit of giving right now during the holidays, that on the 25th of December, we'll be releasing the podcast debrief of this campaign for Ashes of the Empire publicly for all to listen to, and to give you an idea of what the debriefs sound like. I really liked how this one came together, the way they broke down the game, talked about the story, as well as the mechanics of it, and so maybe that'll give you an idea of what the debriefs sound like if you've been on the fence about supporting us on Patreon. And as we come close to the end of the calendar year, it's time to wrap up our active campaigns. Along with Ashes of the Empire on Thursday, it's time to say goodbye to Unknown Armies. Derek the Bard's Edmonton crew with their finale to a film by Alan Smithy. All good things must come to an end, but if they couldn't meet the challenge to come, they wouldn't deserve to call themselves Terrible Warriors. And next week, we still have, on Tuesday, the hyped-up finale to the Seventh Sea. It's our tale of adventure, of romance, and a fight for true love. Will they save Ramon and his family from the Inquisition? Will Pastora fall into the arms of her hero and spend the rest of her life happily ever after? Or, most importantly, is Dirk about to bang the bad guy? 7C, Love and Consequence, the finale, on Tuesday. And next week, on Thursday, our final finale of the year is Kagagami High. Derek the Bard brought together a Canadian crew from all across the country to play a randomly generated game. It is really weird. We didn't know what was going to happen at any given moment, but that final episode pulled out all the stops and pushed the game to its very limits, and I think it's the first time ever that the Terrible Warriors have played a role-playing game about playing a role-playing game with the founding father of role-playing games. I don't want to say too much. The finale to Kakagami High, next Thursday. And along with the Terrible Warrior podcast, we have another podcast you can subscribe to, the Cambridge Chronicles. One game, one campaign, one game master. It's Mike the Birdman Dodd and his friends from Guelph, playing through 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. You can head right now to terriblewarriors.com/Cambridge Chronicles or search for Cambridge Chronicles wherever it is that you find podcasts from and let us know what you think. It's our first attempt at a long-form serialized show. And we may be 12 episodes in, but believe me when I say we've got a lot more in store. Experiments like the Cambridge Chronicles are entirely possible because of the support from Patreon. That support allowed us to finance that show and pay for commissioning music and artwork and for the separate stream, because that's not free either. It's helped pay for all that cool music you're hearing in the background that we have the license to. And as a thank you for supporting us, you get access to those debrief episodes that I told you about. You'll get a chance to be named in future games. You can even sit around the table and join us, as well as sending out postcards every month for people to enjoy as a souvenir. The schedule for next year is already posted at terriblewarriors.com. Go have a look and hype yourself. Follow us on Twitter at Dice Wars. Join us on Discord and hang out. We've got a nice little community there forming. People helping out with each other's games, even joining in on other games. I think we've actually sort of formed a league of fans. That's very cool. And, of course, another reminder that on the 25th, we'll be releasing the debrief to this Ashes of the Empire campaign publicly as a gift to you, to be able to enjoy, to be able to get a preview of what the debriefs sound like, available for every campaign since we launched on Patreon back in September 2016. Today's Terrible Warriors and your valiant Imperial officers: Julian Spillane, AJ Fry, Connell Macbeth, first time, and hopefully not the last time, GM Brie Poison. And we'll see you next time on the Terrible Warriors. And until that time, may the Force be with you.